Hello everyone, Shadefire here, and today I'm taking a first-impressions look at Genshin Impact, a free-to-play gacha game which is very much not what you would normally see me playing. However, I've seen enough articles pop up on this game that says, by all rights, it should be bad, but somehow it's actually really good, that I thought I'd at least check it out, since it is free-to-play. Basically, this is, to summarize it in the smallest way, it's anime Breath of the Wild with gacha mechanics so that you can roll for extra characters. But it has a lot of similar things to Breath of the Wild. You can climb basically anything. You know, there's a lot of stamina-focused management, though I haven't seen any of the cooking stuff actually have, like, heat or cold. There are no breakable weapons, so there's none of Breath of the Wild's weapon durability, which actually seems like a bad thing, because otherwise you are also gacha rolling for weapons. If you're not familiar with what gacha is, it is the short form for gachapon, which is, you know, those little capsule toy machines in Japan, which was then, in, like, the swing of the mobile game market, turned into a genre of its own, where they force you to essentially buy loot boxes with very low probabilities of getting what you actually want that actually affect gameplay. And apparently in a lot of them, you actually need to roll for the better stuff to be able to make progress. But that is where this game is slightly different, because apparently you really don't even need to bother with the gacha stuff unless you're trying to min-max the end game. I'll show you exactly what the main mechanic of that is in here, so you'll see what kind of gambling rolling they're expecting. I'm not going to spend any money, but they do give you a basically set of 10 of the roll items to do your randomizer. But the basic setup of this game is you start off, there's a pair of siblings who are like interdimensional planeswalkers that just travel from world to world, and then the dimensional police goddess shows up and she's like, yeah, I can't let you do that anymore. I can't allow the arrogation of mankind. I'm pretty sure arrogation is not a word, but if it is, I've never heard it. So then you get to pick if you want to be the female sibling or the male sibling, and the other one gets sucked into a Tesseract by the goddess. Then she steals your dimensional powers and dumps you here, where you immediately fish up some kind of fairy. They haven't really explained what she is yet, but she's kind of annoying. She's got a very much high-pitched, you know, anime dub voice acting, and she refers to herself in the third person. But yeah, visually this game I think is great, except for the character designs. A lot of them go a little too hard on the anime styling of just, hey, let's just have them have like 100 things on their outfit. Like you'll see if we meet any of the knight characters. So, you always have the Traveler who has the same fighting style, no matter which sibling you pick. They only use regular swords because the weapon type is bound to the character, and then every character has an element, except it sounds like your Traveler can actually change their element by going to these various god statues around. So you start off with the wind power, but it looks like each area of the map has its own god. Only 2 of them are in the game right now, though. So we're just going to kind of wander around, do some adventuring, do maybe one of these quests that I have. I played maybe about an hour of this game just to get through the early stuff, because, you know, it's just cutscenes and whatnot. It doesn't take too long to get into the game, but the starting quest stuff is a little repetitive. I had to end up doing it twice because they let you make an account in-game instead of on the website with just a username, but then I immediately forgot what password I used, because obviously I'm not going to use my main password for a bunch of gacha bullshit, so I forgot what I used and ended up having to make a second account and redoing this at the same hour. Alright, we got a fast travel shrine up here. Am I going to run out of stamina? There we go. So you can fast travel to these at any point. You don't have to actually go to one. You start up here on this beach near Stormbearer Point, and then they send you to the first town of Mondstadt as part of the first quest. Then a dragon shows up, and that's pretty much what I'm doing right now, is trying to deal with a wind dragon by going to these shrines where it's getting its power from, so it stops harassing the city. And you can see there's a big old whirlwind coming out of the city. So yeah, there are chests all over the place. There are Breath of the Wild style chests where you have to fight all the enemies around them, like that one right there. So that stuff's cool, gives you a reason to explore. And there's usually always something you can see and go to, like, oh, what's that over there? Or, hey, look, there's a shrine over there, there's something glowing, there's a chest. So it does have that part of Breath of the Wild's exploration. In fact, what is that up there? I actually don't know. You've got these spirits, which have various little challenges attached to them. Sometimes you just have to follow them. They're kind of equivalent to the... oh, geez, what were they called? The little spirits that you would have to solve a simple puzzle for in Breath of the Wild. The other thing in this, because every character has an element, there's a bunch of elemental interactions, which seem kind of important. In fact, I got a new one there for using wind on electricity. When Pyro meets Electro, Overloaded occurs, explodes, does AoE pyro damage. Okay. So yeah, there's a whole aspect of use this element on this type of enemy. You know, if an enemy has a wooden shield, you use pyro to burn their shield away. That kind of stuff, which is also in Breath of the Wild to an extent. Except here it is tied into the character rolling system. Since, you know, right now I only have access to wind and fire, because they do give you some characters as well. You can see Amber there. It's just one of the characters they give you in the story. That said, I don't know if she's permanent or not, but she's basically the archer character. Shoots fire arrows. Alright, so we followed it to their statue. Got a chest. Chest is mostly items that give characters experience, which I guess are important once you start getting, you know, rolling for other characters that start at low levels. And items to upgrade weapons. You also get a whole bunch of weapons that are not going to be any good, because the weapons you roll for are going to be better. And those are pretty much just used to upgrade other weapons. Okay, we have a chest here. We have, I guess these are torches. It's really bothering me that I can't remember what those spirits are called. But yeah, they also had simple puzzles like this, where it's just like, oh, okay, there's some kind of puzzle here to unlock this chest. And this one, I just have to shoot all these torches, I guess. Probably a fourth one. I do like the climbing thing, though. I wish, or I hope, more games will, you know, emulate this from Breath of the Wild, because it is one of the better features. Oh, there's one right there. It's just, instead of having to go around things or find some awkward way to jump on them, you just climb up. Oh, there's another chest up there.
That's more like it.
I will say that of the characters I've seen so far, Amber actually doesn't have a terrible design. You know, she's kind of practical for an archer. I mean, those pants are way too tight, but aside from that, she's almost, like, okay compared to the other two. You know, you get your very stereotypical looking stupid witch lady with a big-ass hat. She's pretty uninteresting. And then the leader of the knights that Amber is a part of, who is just wearing white leather pants with, like, slits up the side. And it's like, come on. How are you gonna fight in those pants? Then again, the Traveler's pretty over the top too, but at least they're from another dimension. Okay, we should probably go back and, well, I think that's one of the story missions there. Basically, there are 3 temples I'm supposed to be going to right now. Also, you can see that a lot of the map is not filled out. You have to go to these big old spheres on the map, and those will, you know, Ubisoft Tower fill out that section of the map. So one of them is just over here. I think I did go to this one in my other attempt at this. It was hard not to just explore a little bit before doing the video, because, you know, I'm like, alright, I did the main quest stuff up to this point, but I do want to look around a bit more. Yeah, okay, this is the one over by the big tree. So let's get over there. We'll activate the map in that zone, and then we'll do our character roll. Oh, hold on, we got an enemy camp over here. That means another chest. Every time I do that on fire, I just set myself on fire, because it just spreads the fire. Okay, now it's raining, so everyone's gonna be wet. But yeah, I was honestly surprised that this doesn't seem to be very obtrusive, since it is from a well-known mobile games, gacha games maker. This actually seems like it's pretty decent.
It's the Statue of the Seven!
Unless you want to get really into it.
And see if the gods respond.
Like, I'm fine with not having all the characters. Especially since, for the most part, it seems like the only thing that matters about the characters is, you know, each of them is just a combination of an element and a weapon type. So it's like, yeah, it's nice to have access to all the elements, but I'm not going to spend money on that. So you find these Animoculus around, and I guess this is the statue of Animo, so you offer them up and they'll give you permanent stamina increases. Which is just another thing to look around for. Oh, okay. It also activated an updraft, because, also like Breath of the Wild, you have a glider. Except in this, it's literally just wings.
In Mondstadt, people call them Animoculi.
So that's Paimon, our little Navi fairy.
Some stories say the statue's eyes originally had gems that were taken by swallows, but Animoculi never had a physical form from the start. People with visions collect them to offer to the statues as blessings.
You can see there, if you have ice, you can actually make a path across the water.
Vision. But the rules of this world don't apply to you anyway, so keep offering Animoculi and maybe you'll receive more blessings.
As you saw at the start there, this game does have a photo mode, but sadly you can't detach it from the character, so I can't get shots of all these, like, herons and stuff. But you know, you've seen my other videos with games with photo modes, I like to take pictures of the wildlife in games. What can I say, I really dug Pokemon Snap as a kid. Oh, got some iron ore here. And you just mine it by hitting it with your sword. Alright. So let's get into the shitty gacha stuff and see what characters I get with my free rolls. If I can remember where that is. Wish. Yeah, so these are called wishes. So the way this works is it uses this currency, Primo Gems, which you do get in-game for a bunch of little things. You know, all kinds of things will give you like 1 to 5 of these. You can turn these into the wishes that you use for rolling for characters. But there's also 2 different tiers of these. Like, there's these ones, which are limited wishing items, so I don't know how you would get these without spending money. Unless you can get these from doing events, which is very possible. But yeah, these are for limited time bundles, woo. But since we have, you can see, we have 11 of these Acquaint Fates, and we can roll for 10 for just 8 of these right now, so you get this character lady by default, who uses claymores, so she's decent. Well, let's see what else we get. We'll probably get at least 1 other character in this, unless I'm very unlucky.
Alright, let's go.
I will protect you.
So this is the loot crate opening animation, basically. Alright. Just a crappy level 3 sword. I don't know what this Masterless Stardust is for. Oh, character. Tier 4, I guess also Claymore user, and it looks like lightning is her element. So that's decent, except now I'm gonna have 2 freaking Claymore characters. Emerald Orb. I don't even know what kind of weapon that is, but somebody uses it. Bow. I mean, it's a better bow for Amber. Surprised we haven't got duplicate weapons yet from this. No, man, right as I say that. Still, this is a better sword for the Traveler. A different Tier 3 bow. And the 4-star Give. Another Tier 3 bow. So I guess getting a 4-star character is not too bad. Obviously, 5-star is the best, but Last time I rolled, I got some very short little lady that uses ice and is somehow still a knight, even though she looks like she's 8. So what is this for? Used to purchase rare resources from the shop. Perhaps it can create new destinies when in large enough quantities. Okay, so can I use these to turn them into wishes eventually? You know, like a wish 8 times and get 1 wish free kind of thing? Little scratch card for destinies. Okay, so I could use my last 3 wishes on... This is just like the generic rolling pool. So these will probably all change. You know, these 2 right here are limited time. I think you get this girl just from doing, or maybe not her, but another bard character just from doing one of the events right now. But yeah, let's see what we get from this. We're probably just going to get 3 weapons. Since I think the chance of getting a character is like 2% or something. Alright. That was a pretty good roll, I guess. A first roll and get a 4. That's probably also built into their algorithm, though. Like, hey, we'll give you something really nice the first time, and then shit afterwards. But she looks like a wind character as well. Don't really know what her weapon would be. Alright, well, let's see what else we get. A big ol' club. I wonder if that still counts as a claymore. Looks like it does, based on the icon. Alright, and last one. So yeah, you can get more of these wishes just from progressing through the game. Which is the only way I'm gonna get more of them. Alright, so that's not too bad. We have a party now. I actually have more characters than I could equip. So let's see. We got this lady. Also impractically dressed for her weapon style. Oh, interesting. She actually does have a different heavy attack than the other character. I just assumed they all had the exact same fighting style if they had the same weapon. But yeah, this lady's heavy attack is just a spin. Which, that is the two-handed sword attack in Breath of the Wild, right? If you hold it down. So... I don't know what her ability does. Okay, it's like a block and then counter. And then hers is just a shield. Oh, there's some barrels here. Means you can blow them up. Hey, you did this to yourself, girl. Alright, murdered some more of the locals. Now let's take their goods. Alright, so maybe let's switch out one of these, because you can only have 4 characters at a time. Let's see, what does Sugar do? An alchemist. What is her weapon style? Books. But also these sphere things, which are just catalysts, okay. Well, these are stronger, so let's switch to that. Then we can enhance. So because I have a duplicate, you can refine, which just increases its kind of built-in ability. Whereas enhancing just increases the attack and element damage by dumping whatever into it. For refine, you actually need duplicates. Which also means there's not really any reason not to do a refinement, because it's not like you're going to use... Well, you could use those weapons, I suppose, for anyone else's enhancements. Alright, so how do I equip a character? Party setup. That's probably... Oh, I hit characters again. Party setup. Oh, it was loading. I didn't realize that would take time. Alright, let's switch out Noelle here for Sucrose. So how do you work? Oh, wow, she is real short, too. So she doesn't really have ranged attack, she just has a longer range. And you can see she doesn't have a lot of health. Also, she's level 1. So I think this is where... I don't actually know what this menu is representing. But I think we can level her up. Go to the character screen. This is inventory. Character screen. You can use all these items I keep finding in chests. What level is Traveler right now? Only level 5, wow. So is it actually better to just use these on everyone? Oh, it costs money too, but I actually have 56,000 already, so not that big of a deal.
I just need a moment to quickly take down some notes.
I remember seeing these. There's like 3 element shrines here. And I didn't have lightning on that save, so I should be able to activate them now. Fire. Lightning. Oh, but now I don't have an ice character, so that'll just have to sit there until I get one. I would think that they give you one character of every element throughout the story, though. Alright, let's go do a mission, now that I've fucked around with the systems. Now there's another one of those goddess eyeballs right here. So if they go in the eye sockets of the statue, does that mean I can only offer 2 of these to every statue?
This!
Okay, so I need 2 for the next upgrade. So Amber is over here. The weird thing is she is a duplicate, because if I pull out my Amber, you can see she's also over there. And that's just because all of the other characters you can roll are also characters in the world. So you just have like clones of them running around with you. Oh, hey, Amber.
This is it.
Just
One
pops
of
you
the
back.
deserted temples of the Four Winds. These temples have been left to waste for years now. The people of Mondstadt almost never come here.
Sounds like it's on them then, the dragon's pissed off.
There's a chance there's a monster nest or hilitrol camp inside. Even Storm Terror has given up on its own temple. Yes. I also find it hard to accept, but Storm Terror was once one of the Four Winds. Huh? Wait! Did you just feel that? The wind here. Something's off. Let's go in and take a look. Be careful. The dragon's power is disturbing this area.
Does that mean it's just going to be windy inside?
Everyone in Mondstadt is still get every second we waste.
Okay, I was going to say I tried to open one of these before and it's like recommended party level, level 20. So I think these like level 20 ones, those are for co-op. You can do runs of these with other people. That's like kind of one of the endgame things, but there's also a story version. Does that mean I can't change my party once I'm in there? Is that why that pops up before you go in?
You can use that console to open the door. Wow, I can see so far into the temple.
Hammer has the ability to aim and shoot. Her arrows will accumulate charge. Yeah, it has to be fully charged to be a pyro arrow. Now, it wants me to shoot these to burn away the roots. Okay, I don't think you can climb inside the dungeons. was gonna say, why don't I just climb over them? It solves so many problems. But it makes sense that they would force you to use the character they give you for the dungeon. Use Elemental Sight to see the elemental attributes of different objects. Each element has its own color. Opponent's wooden shields are attributed to Dendro. Yes, because even wood is an element here. Okay, this is something that I hadn't seen before. Makes sense if you're just, like, not sure what the element is. I think this was just a respawn, it said. So he's got a wooden shield. Pop that with Pyro. Burns off of his arm.
Oh no! A horn! The fighting must have got them riled up.
Oh no, a
Good thing I
horn.
prepared my secret weapon, explosive puppet berry bunny.
I don't need a tutorial for that, I've already used it. She has a decoy that explodes.
Let it rain.
And then every character has a, like, super that charges up. That part kind of reminds me of, like, Dynasty Warriors. I knew there'd be a radish in here. Alright, plenty of crappy chests lying around.
Are those explosive barrels over there?
Amber, please.
Well, one shot should be able to blow them up.
I guess you can't assume that players are actually going to explore it all on their own.
Bet you.
I mean, she seems decent. I don't know what that grinding sound behind me was. Oh, it's the door closing.
Dragon's breath. Is that where the power's coming from? Great, let's smash it. Phew, I'm tired.
I smashed that wind rock.
But at least this way we've helped Jean out. In the past, we were at least able to defend the city and keep it safe. This, of course, is mostly thanks to Jean. But now with Storm Terror directly attacking the city itself, the winds change. So too should our tactics. It's what Lisa likes to say. Speaking of which, the 4 winds we were discussing earlier, if you want to learn more about our history, you can ask Lisa.
No, that's quite alright. I already have like 30 books I picked up in the library.
I'm not saying I don't know our history. It's just, I mean, a librarian is supposed to be more knowledgeable than an outrider, right?
I don't know, I'm not from your world. Oh. This is a very special chest. Oh, they're gonna kick me out of the dungeon in 900 seconds. Quickly, explore as much as you can. No, this is a dead end anyway. That was a really short dungeon. I was expecting a bit more of a Zelda dungeon. And I do hope there are at least some dungeons that aren't story quest related. So yeah, now it's just go talk to the other 2 dungeon people, who will probably teach you their elements before disappearing. Got a chest here. It's funny to me that you can burn the roots off of it, but the chest itself does not catch on fire. There's a star on my map. Means there's one of these around. You really can't jump very high.
I won't let you down.
Considering most of these chests are just upgrade materials, I feel like it's not even worth going for the little ones most of the time. A plant slime.
Windblade!
Yeah, set myself on fire again. Oh, hold on. Gotta keep your eye on that mini-map for when one of those animalculus pops up. We're going to talk to Kaya, who is the only male Knight of Favonius I've seen so far, and he probably has the worst design out of all of them. I mean, this is a Korean... I was going to say MMO, but I guess it's not an MMO, because you're mostly just playing single player. It's a Korean game, so they have a specific twist on the anime character styles that is that kind of over-designed look. Some of it looks nice. The dragon itself in this looks pretty nice, but yeah, a lot of the characters are just like, you don't need that many design elements. Look at this boy. Look at he. Look at his fucking outfit. Do you think we need more bangles? Maybe some more brass? Yeah, just put it all on there, whatever. Buckles and bangles and stars.
Come closer. Can you smell that?
Is it what the rock is cooking? Also, I'm very close already. I'm like sniffing his chest.
Something must have happened in the temple.
I'm not really sure why they give you those two choices, because it's usually like regular answer and sassy answer that never affects what they say.
I imagine there will be slimes, hilly churls, and whatever's giving Storm Terror extra power.
It's probably one of his snot rocks. I already broke one of them.
Oh yes. It is going to be lively in there indeed. As bustling as it may be, no, I can't imagine it will be dangerous at all. It's a pity that the Temple of the Wolf has been disturbed by such an atrocity. Let's head in.
Sometimes they'll say Traveler instead of your character
No one
name.
makes offerings to the four winds anymore. Yet the old winds never vanish. We need to clear out the temples. For the
Fear the old winds. So am I gonna have to use him too? Even though he's not one of my characters? I mean, he was one of the ones that's in the current pool to roll for. But I assume if I do have to take him, it's not permanent. Yeah, it looks like they don't even give you him temporarily. Alright, tutorial dungeon number 2.
Let me show you how the Knights of Favonius conquer our adversaries.
Do you think he would make a lot? Oh, okay, they do force him into your party as a trial. I was gonna say, do you think he would normally make just a lot of clanking sounds when he walks around with all that, like, buckles and belts and shit?
If I'm not mistaken, the end of the temple should be up there.
Wait, how do you know?
Experience. The kind of experience you get after years of dealing with things like this for others.
I hate having to clean up for other people, even though I'm a knight. Or an anime knight, and therefore he doesn't just protect the interests of the nobility like a regular knight did. If there's water around, opponents may become wet. Okay, so he's a cryo character. So he also has a sword, but you can see he does have his own combo. Only one, though. We don't want to get anything as advanced as more than one combo per character.
Traveler, unless I'm mistaken, you don't seem to have a vision. So
That
how exactly
sounds
is it that
vaguely
you're
insulting.
able to channel elemental energy?
It was a very strange phenomenon. Something strange happened.
I'm from another world, so I can break your world's laws. I don't know how I'd get up there. Oh, I can probably glide down there, except you can't climb, so there's no going back. These walls are made of unclimbtanium. They really give you these respawn altars, even though these things are so simple. Flamethrower's core is what gives it the energy to shoot fire. Use cryo to disable the cores and stop them from shooting fire.
Freeze!
There were slimes in this chest.
Cool it!
Finally, we're here.
So was that the whole dungeon?
Seems the path ends here. Let's use the wind currents to fly up.
Blue stone in the center of the room is hydro amber. Breaking it will make it rain, making everything in the range wet and everybody a little richer. So there are element rocks as well to trigger elements.
Fire!
Good idea. That's some keen observation. We should get Jean to give you a title and make you a knight.
I think that was supposed to be sarcasm, but it sounded a little too serious.
Cool it!
I'm fine. Underwater spikes make the area too dangerous to swim through, but he can walk across the ice like Jesus.
Freeze!
Sorry, it was Moses that could freeze
Speaking
water.
of, did you know? Storm Terror was once one of the 4 winds. I'm not aware of the exact details. If you're interested, you can ask the acting Grand Master about it. Freeze!
We're also picking up these little relics, which, you know, just give you little stat buffs, but I'm not going to bother equipping those right now.
Is that the thing that Storm Terror is using to gain its power?
Seems probable. Let's deal with it. Bravo! What a performance.
Also, still sounds sarcastic.
You are, to my surprise, a well-trained knight. The battles you just fought were sights to behold.
I wasn't even here.
I see you already have the knightly virtue of modesty. Stories of your heroic deeds to save Mondstadt from destruction shall be known throughout the City of Freedom. Well, and please do visit me at our head. I also know a lovely tavern, if that's more your thing.
We could have a night on the town
Quite
together.
rewarding. No?
We've seized another temple from Storm Terror's grasp.
I can take care of the rest here. You go take care of other things while I'm at it.
See you later then, bye-bye.
There's no way Hilly Turtles organized an ambush like this themselves. Not with their limited mental capacity. Thus you were behind this.
It was me, Sneaky Wizard. I fought one of these guys. They're basically like a mini-boss.
Knights of Favonius, always so inefficient.
Agree to disagree, but your involvement in this just made things a whole lot more interesting.
I'm sure that was meant to be intrigue, but it seemed more like the devs being like, hey, I bet you want to try and roll for this guy now, since he was the other one in the rolling pool. The hot-blooded Fire Knight. Alright, so we did actually get a new sword out of that. Let's see, Traveler's Handy Sword. Or the Skyrider Sword. Skyrider seems better. It's the one we got out of our rolling. I mean, it's not as good as this, but that's because it's level 14. I dumped some enhancement into it, so might as well switch to one of these. I mean, I like the look of this one better, but I think this one is better. Precise seems like a good one. Blunt Conclusion. That actually sounds challenging to get your health under 70%. One thing I've seen criticizing this game is that it's a little easy, which I can agree with, but it's actually something that Breath of the Wild didn't seem to have a problem with, in that there actually was fights you could just get your ass kicked in Breath of the Wild. Especially if you're, oh boy, exploring early. Let's check out this thing. This frost tree. Oh, it's a boss. A giant ice flower. Level 36. Probably shouldn't be here yet.
Bet you can't keep up with me! That's a must cube!
Well, she did. Yeah, we'll leave the ice flower alone. But it does seem like there are just bosses and mini-bosses around the land as well. Looks like it can go that way. Guess I'll travel here since I fell off. But yeah, I think this is a decent little single-player thing for free, and it looks good. Plays decently. Not the most challenging, but if it's just a casual thing for exploring more than anything, then you might have a good time with this. Unless you're somebody who compulsively has to collect all the characters, in which case I would say stay away from this because this is there to exploit people exactly like you. You can't rein in your urge to roll, then don't even give yourself the chance to roll. But otherwise, I'd say, yeah, give this a shot. It's free. It's not a very big download. And it seems okay. If you have the tolerance for, you know, the more twee parts of the anime design. But I'm having fun with this. I'm going to keep playing this for a while. Probably not to the end game, because I never really give a shit about getting to an end game in a game like this, where you're just grinding for better numbers. It's the reason I don't really stick with live service games to the point they want you to. Yeah, just have some fun, do some quests, explore around. I will have fun with this for a while. But I think that'll do it for Genshin Impact. I don't think there's anything else fancy I can show you right now. Boy, I like these elemental things that I have to just stand here and... Oh. Okay, you have to do them quickly.
Power that isn't hot done! Back at ya!
Unfortunately, her ult doesn't seem to...
Take this!
Alright, I guess she's just not the right character for this. But yeah, you can find this yourself. I don't think you really need a link, and I don't want this to seem like an ad. I've been Shadefire. Thanks for joining me for this look at Genshin Impact, and I'll see you again with some more spooky stuff that's more themed to the season than something as cutesy and colorful like this. Till then, take care, folks.